Hi everybody, this is the Prospect Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host and welcome back to Prospect Hut. I hope you like this video. And hit that subscribe button. We're in the off-season now. And one of the questions that's going to obviously popping up is who the Mets going to trade from the Mets farm system. Mets have a lot of depth in the farm system, a lot of young position players. Some of them had some injuries. Some of them didn't play well, but the Mets have a lot of depth there, especially in the infield. And obviously they have some pitching that would be useful for a lot of teams. And some teams, are going to be wanting some of the Met prospects. Now, we're going to have the deadline for the Rule 5 draft coming up very, very quickly. And some players are on the bubble. Dom Hamill, Mike Vasil on the bubble. But SNY put out this very interesting mailbag. And somebody asked them a question: how many top prospects will New York keep versus trade this offseason? Plus, what will happen with Mike Vasil, Dom Hamill, and of course Blade Tidwell? Question: how do the Mets manage all these top prospects in AAA with being a win-now team? You say, do they need to consolidate some of them via trades, or will the big club be able to accommodate all these potential rookies? The writer says, I received quite a few different variations of questions surrounding the trading of prospects. A year ago, when Dave Stearns became the Mets president of baseball operations, one of his jobs was to learn the organization from top to bottom. Most say that process ultimately takes a full season to have that firm grasp of things. Now, we've been doing this channel, you and me, for the past year. I think if you've been following, you have a pretty good idea of this Mets farm system. At least I do. I have a better idea, and I've been very interested for the last many years on my own what the Met farm system was, but because I've been doing this channel, I've been kind of lacking in that. But the last year, I have not done that. I have a pretty good grasp of this farm system now. So if you need to know about a player, I'll let you know. After the successful season that led to 89 regular season wins and a trip to the NLCS, the pressure to win now has naturally risen. That doesn't mean Stearns is going to just unload the entire system of prospects and everything is only about 2025, but the Mets want to win now. They also want to win in 26, 27, 28, 28, Doing that requires an infusion of youth into the roster year over year. With that said, the writer says the Mets are in an excellent position in year 2 of this regime to be able to trade from their prospect stock to the person that wrote to the writer. The list of infielders who have already made the major leagues or they project will debut in 2025 is quite long. Now we have a bunch of names. The Mets infielders. Francisco Lindor, the Mets roster. Francisco Lindor, Jeff McNeil, Mark Vientos, Brett Beatty, Luis Angel Acuna, Ryan Mauricio, and Jet Williams. That's basically the Mets depth, the minor league infielders. Lindor and Vientos are going to hold down 2 of the 4 infield positions and aren't realistic candidates to be traded. Thus, there's only room for 2 others to get an opportunity. Whether you're talking about a deal with the White Sox for someone like Garrett Crochet, or the Mariners for someone like Luis Castillo, Logan Gilbert, or George Kirby, or whatever other arms are available, this feels like the right pool of players to start from when building trade proposals to help the pitching staff. Keep an eye on the Mariners, folks. Even if you're a Met fan, if there's a team that the Mets could get a player from, it's a pitcher from, is the Mariners. They got a lot of pitching, and they have more pitching coming up in their farm system. Ultimately, there won't be room for everyone, and while depth is important, something will have to give. It is just a matter of finding the right fit at the right time. I think that time could be this winter. Interesting. And here's another question from somebody else. Looks like Syracuse should be full of arms that are coming into the make-or-break season. What do you see happening with Mike Vasil, Dom Hamill, and Blade Tidwell? AAA Syracuse rotation has a chance to have 4 prospects in it to start the 25 season. 3 names above, and the organization's number 2 prospect, Brandon Sprout. The Mets have decisions to make on both Vasil and Hamill as they are Rule 5 eligible. They need to be added to the 40-man roster or be exposed and quite possibly selected in the Rule 5 draft. The writer would lean toward expecting the Mets to protect both. I believe the Mets have 34 spots that have players on it, so there's 6 available spots for players, so that just keep that in mind, I think. Do not off the top of my head. I've spoken on the Mets pod and written about the... Let me skip that. It's fair to say that all three of Vassell, Hamill, and Tidwell had a roller coaster season, with Syracuse perhaps with more downs than ups. From a pure stuff standpoint, I don't think much has changed with any of them from they are at the times dominate the AA level. It will be important for these three pitchers to not just focus on throwing more strikes in 25, but also throwing better strikes. With Vassell and Hamill potentially garnering 40-man roster status and the number of pitchers needed to get through a season, it is not hard to imagine them getting opportunities at the big league level. The writer looks at Tidwell as less of a make-or-break type of pitcher. Vassell will be 25 in March and Hamill will be 26 in March, while Tidwell won't turn 24 until June. He's been a name for Stearns has brought up more than once when talking about some of the upper-level prospects who can make an impact on the big league team. The writer speaks to still believes he has number 4 type of starter potential, and he also could make his major league debut in 2025. So the Mets have some options here throughout the whole farm system, really. I mean, if there's one area of need that they need is some outfielders. They're pretty good with the catching. I would mention Kevin Parada has slipped on all kinds of boards for the Mets. So he is almost out of the top 30. According to SNY, I think he's 26th. The 26th best Mets prospect. And he was a top 10 guy the whole time he's been in the organization. But he is plummeted. And there are catchers that are ahead of him. So that's something to keep an eye on. I don't know where his availability is. I don't know who would want him at this point. But that offense has got to pick up next year. Because if it doesn't pick up, he's going to be a failed number 1 pick. But you let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Prospect Hut, and I'll see you later.